Talks from Beyond. Impossible conversations brought to live. Welcome to Talks from Beyond, the place where we break the barriers of time to chat with the brightest minds in history. Today, we have the immense honor of speaking with one of the most multifaceted geniuses to ever exist, Leonardo da Vinci.
Ci piacere. It's an honor to welcome you here in my workshop at the height of the Renaissance. I must say your presence here is as fascinating as some of my inventions. I think I might have more questions for you than you have for me. This device in front of me. Is it magic or some kind of modern alchemy?
Haha, it could be both, but we call it technology. Today we'll use this magic to chat with you, and by the end, I promise to explain everything. But before we get started, how are you feeling, Leonardo?
I'm doing well, thank you. Although I must say it's curious to receive such an unusual visit. I'm as intrigued about how you got here as I am about what you've come to ask me.
The good news is that we're here now. Tell me, what's a typical day like for you in Florence?
Well, my day begins early, with the light of the sun. I dedicate hours to observing the world around me, the movement of leaves, the flight of birds. In the mornings, I paint, and in the afternoons, my thoughts lead me to imagine how the world could be improved through engineering. Of course, I also make time for food and wine.
Leonardo, you were born in 1452 in Vinci, a small town in Italy. What were your early years like?
Ah, yes, my dear Vinci. It is a small place, but full of life and beauty. I was born as the illegitimate son of my father, Ser Piero, a highly respected notary, and a woman named Caterina, who worked as a peasant. Although I didn't live with both of them together, my father welcomed me into his home, and my childhood unfolded in a comfortable yet curious environment, where the difference in my parents' origins always inspired me to see the world from different perspectives. My grandfather and other members of my paternal family also greatly influenced my upbringing, teaching me values like observation, dedication, and respect for nature. My home was surrounded by fields and hills, and I spent hours exploring them. I observed how rivers flowed, how the winds shaped the landscape, and how birds soared through the sky. Everything fascinated me, and that curiosity led me to draw what I saw. Although I didn't have a formal education, like the legitimate sons of noble families, my father recognized my talent and encouraged me to practice with pencils and parchment. Drawing became my refuge and my way of understanding the world. I believe growing up in Vinci, surrounded by the simplicity of nature and the stories of my family, planted the seeds of observation and imagination within me. From an early age, I dreamed of more, of understanding and improving what surrounded me, of capturing the very essence of life on paper.
How fascinating. It's true that our place of origin shapes us so much. By the way, there are so many curiosities we've heard about you. Is it true that you're ambidextrous and can write backward?
Yes, of course. Writing backward helps me protect my ideas from prying eyes. And why use just one hand when you have two?
You're known for making the most of every moment. I've heard that you even adapted your sleeping patterns to have more time. How does that work?
You're referring to polyphasic sleep. Yes, it allows me to make better use of my time. I sleep in brief periods of 20 minutes every few hours, which gives me more hours in the day to observe, think, and create. Though I must admit, it sometimes feels like an experiment in itself.
It must be incredible to make such good use of your time. Don't you feel that this way of sleeping affects your energy or creativity?
Interestingly, no. Although I must admit, it's not always perfect. Sometimes I feel like I could use a longer rest, but the excitement of discovering something new always keeps me going. My mind never stops, and this method allows me to keep exploring relentlessly, at least until my body demands a break.
Speaking of curiosities, I've read that you're a vegetarian. Is that true?
Indeed. I have always felt compassion for animals. I cannot bear the thought of feeding myself at their expense, especially when there are so many alternatives available. Animals are sentient creatures, capable of experiencing pain and emotions. I have even freed birds from the market, purchasing them solely to watch them fly free. In my opinion, man, with his ability to reason, should act with greater kindness toward all living creatures. Moreover, I have observed that a plant-based diet is not only sufficient, but also keeps us healthier and more in harmony with nature. I firmly believe that our relationship with animals reflects who we are as a society.
You're known for your insatiable curiosity and for exploring disciplines as diverse as anatomy, painting, and engineering. What is your philosophy of life?
I believe everything is connected. The laws that govern the flight of a bird are the same as those that govern the waters of a river. That connection is present in every detail of nature, and it is there that I find my inspiration. Observing, understanding, and replicating what nature teaches us is my way of learning and creating. This is why I never stop learning. Every day, I wake up with new questions and the need to find answers, even though many times those answers only lead to more questions. Sapere aude, as we would say, dare to know. This is the driving force behind all progress. I believe that knowledge is not only a personal duty, but also a gift we can share with others so that future generations can continue dreaming and building upon what we have imagined.
Your sketches seem very advanced for your time. How did you come up with so many ideas?
I'd say my curiosity knows no bounds. I observe everything, from the flight of birds to the way water flows in a stream. By the way, one of my greatest interests is water. I study how it moves, how it builds, and how it destroys. I've even designed systems to divert rivers. At night, when I can't sleep, I imagine how humans might fly or how we could build a machine to move mountains. Though I must admit, a good glass of wine also stimulates my creativity.
The Mona Lisa is one of the most famous works in history, Leonardo, though I don't think you could imagine how much. You also gave great importance to details, as shown in your studies of ideal proportions in the Vitruvian Man. What's the secret behind that smile?
Ah, Mia Lisa. Her smile was the result of a simple trick. I told her not to think about posing, but to remember something funny. I believe at that moment she was recalling how her husband tried to impress her with a poem. That turned out to be a poorly written recipe. See, art isn't about technique. It's about capturing the soul of a moment. I must also confess that I'm obsessed with understanding facial muscles. I dissected human heads to study how expressions work. It wasn't a clean job, but it was fascinating.
It's known that you dissected over 30 cadavers to study human anatomy. What led you to do that?
Ah, the human body is the most perfect machine that exists, a masterful design by nature. I dissected cadavers in secret because I wanted to understand how every tendon, every muscle, and every joint worked. For me, uncovering the secrets of the body was essential not only for my paintings, but also for my understanding of the world. In my works, such as the Mona Lisa or the Last Supper, I sought to capture life in a way that was more real and faithful, showing how muscles shape a smile or how emotions are reflected in a face. But my interest went beyond art. Studying the body also inspired my inventions. I saw in human movements the foundation for designing machines, from mechanical arms to flying wings. I must admit, it was not always a pleasant experience. Working with cadavers in the dim light of night was not only challenging, but also risky. However, my curiosity always prevailed. For me, opening a body was like reading a book written by nature, and every discovery was a new page in my understanding of life.
You're known for your inventions, many of which were ahead of their time. What inspires you?
Nature. Everything is in it, from the wings of birds to the currents of rivers. My flying machines, for example, were born from observing birds. Though I must admit, some ideas are more dreams than practical realities.
You designed a humanoid robot. Do you think your vision of the future includes machines working for us?
Of course. I designed a mechanical knight that could move, raise its arms, and turn its head. Although I did not build it in my time, I imagine a future where machines work to ease our burdens and expand our capabilities. I believe mechanics have the potential to improve human life, from facilitating the most arduous tasks to creating new instruments for exploring the world and the cosmos. Moreover, it's not all about work. I also devised a musical instrument called the viola organista, which combines the strings of a viola with a keyboard. This design aimed to take music to a more harmonious level, allowing a single person to create sounds that previously required an entire ensemble. In my vision, machines should not only be useful, but also serve as tools for creativity and the expression of the human soul.
You dreamed of flight long before it was possible. If you could learn something about our time, what would you like to discover?
I am deeply intrigued to know if they managed to build my flying machines. I always dreamed of human flight, of rising from the ground like birds, defying gravity. I have spent countless hours observing the movement of their wings, analyzing how the wind supports their bodies in the air. My sketches and designs sought to capture that magic, but I always knew they were just the beginning of a much greater dream. If they succeeded in flying, I wonder how they did it. Was it with mechanical wings, with engines, or perhaps with something my mind could not imagine? How far have they gone? Have they crossed oceans, mountains, or perhaps even reached the stars? To me, flight is not only a technical feat, but also a metaphor for human ingenuity, for our ability to overcome the limits that nature imposes on us. Knowing that this dream became reality would fill me with immense pride.
You'll be glad to know that not only did we achieve flight, but we've traveled to space, walked on the moon, and designed machines that orbit other planets.
Incredible! Traveling to space. That fills me with hope. Knowing that humanity not only looks to the sky but explores it confirms that there are no limits to our imagination. It's amazing to think that ideas that were mere dreams to me are now realities. I'm proud to be part of that journey, even from a corner of the past.
Leonardo, of all your achievements, which one makes you the most proud?
It's not any particular work. It's my ability to inspire others to explore, to question, to dream. If I've ignited the spark of curiosity in someone, I'm satisfied.
We're nearing the end of our conversation. If you could leave one teaching for us, what would it be?
Never stop learning. Curiosity is the engine of life. Even the greatest dreams start with small steps.
What legacy would you like your work to leave for future generations?
I hope my work inspires others to never stop observing and questioning the world. Curiosity is the engine of progress. If my ideas or discoveries help someone dream bigger or look beyond what seems possible, then I'll have fulfilled my purpose. True legacy is not in what we do, but in what we inspire in others.
Leonardo, it has been an honor to speak with you. Thank you for sharing your passion, your knowledge, and the curiosity that continues to inspire us. Grazie mille. Leonardo da Vinci teaches us that curiosity and passion take us beyond the limits of time. See you in the next episode of Talks from Beyond. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video.